Hi children, welcome back to my channel. I have in the previous video I have done SSC questions of biology, nutrition, 6 marks questions. Still more questions are there. I am continuing now. Now the question here is 7 marks. Seventh question it is analyze the information given below. What is given here? You see children, this is thiolin. They have given enzyme's name and what is the digestive gland which is secreting that enzyme, and what is the digestive juice called, and what is the effect of enzymes on, means on which part they are affecting, on which kind of food they are affecting. So thiolin, it is produced in salivary glands and the juice is called saliva, and it affects the carbohydrates, means it digests carbohydrates. Pepsin, it is a gastric gland, it is produced by gastric glands, that is in the stomach they are produced by gastric juice, and they affect upon proteins. And the liver, which is a digestive gland, it has no enzymes children, there is a dash, means no enzymes in it. The digestive juice produced by it is called bile juice, and it affects upon fats. Amylase, which is produced by digestive gland pancreas, the juice is called pancreatic juice, and it affects upon carbohydrates. Trypsin, it is also secreted by pancreas, pancreatic juice, and it affects upon protein. Lipase, which is also secreted by pancreas, and the juice is called, digestive juice is called pancreatic juice. It works upon fats. So these are the things, means they have given about digestive enzymes, glands, and then upon which food substances they affect. And the questions given here, you see the first question, name any two enzymes secreted by mixed gland. So first of all, what is this mixed gland, children? Mixed gland is this pancreas. Pancreas is called mixed gland. Why is it called mixed gland? Because it is both endocrine and exocrine gland. Let me show you that pancreas. See children, this part, this is pancreas, this is a stomach, this is a duodenum. Into duodenum, the leaf like structure that is there in this groove is called pancreas. This pancreas is a mixed gland, and it is mixed gland because it is having both the endocrine and exocrine nature. So the question is name two enzymes secreted by, name two enzymes secreted by mixed gland. So what is the answer? Pancreas is mixed gland. It produces enzymes like amylase, trypsin. See children, amylase, trypsin, lipase. These are the three enzymes that are produced by pancreatic juice. Second question, which enzyme acts on proteins? See here proteins are here. So what is the enzyme? Pepsin. And another one protein, trypsin. So pepsin and trypsin, these are the enzymes. Pepsin, trypsin act on protein. Next question, name the process of fat digestion by bile. What is the process of fat digestion? The process of fat digestion by bile is called emulsification. This is the name. The digestion of fats by bile juice is called emulsification. Next, bile juice is which question? Fourth question, which digestive juice is without enzymes? Which gland is produced from? From which gland it is produced? See, there is no enzyme, that is bile juice. It is produced by liver. That is what the answer. Bile juice is without enzymes and it is produced by liver. Okay, children. These are the answers for this question. Next, eighth question. What happens if villi are absent in small intestine? So, what are these villi, children? So, let me explain you the figure here, children. These are villi, intestinal villi. Villi are present in the intestine. These are finger-like projections. These are helpful in the absorption of digested food. So let us go to the answer. So the finger-like projection present in the small intestine are called villi. They increase the area of small intestine, thus enables greater area for absorption of food, digested food. A small example I will tell you, children. See, we will keep our clothes in almirahs, and in that, how will you keep? We just don't keep them as spread ones. What we will do, we will fold them and keep. That means what? A large area is folded into small area so that it can fix in the almirah. The same process here, children. That means the intestinal villi, many villi which are useful to absorb our digestive food, they are required. Many number of villi are required in the intestine. So many number of villi cannot be fixed just like that in the intestine. So to fix them in the intestine, they got folded, they got folded. That is the greatness of almighty, children. So see how the arrangement was made in our body, that villi are folded, finger like structures they are made. They increase the area of absorption of small intestine, and because of that the digested food will be absorbed into the blood. If villi are absent, food will not digest completely, of course, because the digested food will not be digested. If villi are absent, food will not be digested completely. Complete digestion will not be takes place. Hence, sufficient nutrients are not supplied to the body. Even though we are having sumptuous food, sumptuous food means full of food, we will not get the required energy because total digestion is not taking place. So whatever nutrients that the food is having, that is not being supplied to our body, so we don't get any energy. Next, draw the diagram of peristatic movement. Write the names of the parts responsible for it. This is the diagram, children. Peristatic movement is appeared in our esophagus. So see the children, right from this place to up to the stomach, we call this as esophagus. This esophagus is the food pipe which is responsible to send the chewed food. We chew the food and we gallop the food. That food slowly through peristatic movements it goes into the stomach. So this is the way in which it goes. So epiglottis here and esophageal sphincters contracted here, and they are relaxed muscles here, contracted muscles here. Bolus means what, children? Bolus means the food which is entering into the stomach, that is called bolus. And sphincter or relaxed, the sphincter that is there at the end, the starting point of the stomach will be relaxed and the food bolus enter into the stomach. Okay, now the next question, what will happen if islets of Langerhans fails to function? What are these islets of Langerhans? These islets of Langerhans are also nothing but the muscular, we can say such glandular structures present in pancreas, children. Here in this pancreas only islets of Langerhans will be there. So the question is, what happens if islets of Langerhans fail to function? If islets of Langerhans fail to function, then insulin may not be produced. If insulin is not produced, what happens? It leads to the sugar diabetes, means the carbohydrates, the food content, whatever we are eating, that contains sugars. But these all sugars will be digested by insulin. They are converted into glucose, and that glucose is used to give energy to us. But what happens if insulin is not produced? The sugar content cannot be converted into glucose. So the people will have high sugar content in the blood that leads to sugar diabetes. Sugar levels increase in the body. Because of this, what happens? The sugar levels will increase in the body. When sugar levels increase in the body, what happens, children? The individuals will not get sufficient energy. See, sugar as such will not give any energy. When sugar gets converted into glucose, then only that glucose will burn in the presence of oxygen to give sufficient amount of energy. This all process are possible only when sugar is converted into glucose. That is possible only with insulin. When islands of Langerhans are not functioning properly, insulin will not be produced properly, and this leads to increase in the sugar level in the body. Next, 11th question. What happens if there is no epiglottis in the human beings? So, see, children, we have already seen epiglottis is there in the mouth, that is at the edge of the mouth. Actually, this epiglottis, the function of it is it acts like a lid, children. See, in our throat we have two passages. One is the passage for the food, and another one is a passage for the air. See, this is the passage for the air, and this is the passage for the food. This epiglottis, the function of this epiglottis is what, it closes one path. When we are, say, suppose we are galloping the food, immediately it closes this respiratory tract, so that what happens, food will never go to the respiratory tract, directly the food goes into our digestive tract. But in case if there is a slight opening or something happens, then food, when it enters into the respiratory tract, we get a cough. Usually, our elders say that don't talk while eating. Those are all very good habits that our elders say, children, because when we talk, the epiglottis will not function properly. So sometimes the food, instead of going into our digestive tract, it goes into our respiratory tract, which leads to cough, and sometimes it may leads to death also if it is very vigorous. If any food particle, by mistake, if it has gone into the lungs, it cannot be digested under any circumstances, because no digestive juice enters into the lungs. Because of that, what happens? Fungus formation takes place in the food, and that leads to the infection in the lungs, and ultimately the person may even die. It is such a dangerous one. That is why our elders used to say that don't talk while eating. You will become a devil when you talk. This is what they used to just threaten us. They threaten us just because, with that at least fear of God or devil, we do the things what they wanted us to do. That is the main thing, children. So here we are not supposed to talk. So the question, this is a small uh, note about epiglottis, children. So the question here is, what happens if there is no epiglottis in human beings? If there is no epiglottis in human beings, then food may not enter into the larynx. Larynx means the digestive, the first part of our digestive tract. It is a larynx, then pharynx. It goes on like this. Through larynx, food may enter into the lungs. So here, larynx is the place that divides actually. You'll have pharynx and esophagus. These are all will get it in the digestive tract. So food may enter into the larynx means what? Instead of going to the digestive tract, it may enter into the larynx. Through larynx, food may enter into the lungs, leading to the death. I told you, no, sometimes it may lead to the death, and sometimes what happens? Person may not speak properly, and air and food entry may not be regulated properly. When epiglottis is not there, then food and air, they cannot be, their entry Can a food entry and air entry means air goes into the lungs, food goes into the stomach. These two are two pipelines, which are pipelines in the sense digestive tract is one and respiratory tract is one. So these two tracts are closed and opened by epiglottis. If epiglottis is not functioning properly, then air flow or food entry, these both will be in danger. They may not go in proper direction. That may lead to the, sometimes even it may lead to the death of the person. Next, 12th question. Observe the following table and answer the questions given below. See children, what are there here? Name of the gland, salivary glands, the juice that it secretes saliva, enzymes, tyline, adds on carbohydrates. Similarly, gastric glands they produce gastric juice which contain pepsin as an enzyme which works on proteins. Pancreas contains pancreatic juice, amylase, trypsin, lipase. Just now we had this kind of question, children. Carbohydrates, amylase works on carbohydrates, trypsin on proteins, lipase on fats. So the question here once again, which enzymes act on carbohydrates? Upon carbohydrates, what are the enzymes? Tyline and amylase. These are the enzymes which are acting upon tyline and amylase acting upon carbohydrates. Second question, which digestive juice contain the enzymes that digest all the food components? All the food components means, children, here food components are what? Carbohydrates are given. There, the food components given here are carbohydrates, carbohydrates, proteins, fats. So it is the pancreas which is dealing with all the food items, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So the answer here is C. Pancreatic juice contain all the enzymes that digest all the food components. Next question. Which digestive juice is secreted by buccal cavity? What is this buccal cavity, children? Buccal cavity is mouth cavity. So mouth cavity is present in means the glands that are present in the mouth are salivary glands. They produce saliva. So the question is, which digestive juices digestive juice is secreted? Which digestive juice is secreted? Saliva is secreted. So which digestive juice is secreted in buccal cavity? It is nothing but saliva is secreted by buccal cavity. And fourth question, which food component is digested in the by gastric juice? See, this is gastric juice. It digests proteins. So what is the answer that we have got? Proteins are digested by gastric juice. Now, 13th question, how would you demonstrate that green plants release oxygen when exposed to light? This is experiment, children. This is the diagram which deals with oxygen is liberated during photosynthesis. Very, very important question, children. So the diagram also important. Sometimes they ask you to draw only diagram and label the parts. So take care of this diagram and the parts. So aim is what? To prove that oxygen is released during photosynthesis. Then apparatus required, hydroelectrics. These are all hydroelectrics. And test tube. See, this is a test tube. And funnel, this one is funnel. And burning splinter, that is burning splinter which is used at the end of the experiment. And beaker, this is beaker. And water that is there in the beaker. Now procedure, take a funnel and insert hydroelectrics in it. So into that funnel you have to insert hydroelectrics. Keep the funnel in the beaker such that the stem of it points up. See the funnel how it is kept. The stem of the funnel, this small pipe like one is called stem of the funnel. It is pointing up. In that direction you have to give. Pour water in the beaker such that the level of the water is above the stem of the funnel. So when you are pouring the water, what you have to do? You have to take care that the water level is above the stem. See, this is the edge of the stem, but water is little bit up. Above the stem level. Up to that, the water should be poured. Take the test tube and fill it with take a test tube and fill it with water. A test tube should be taken and you have to fill that test tube with water. Invert the test tube over the funnel. So very carefully, keeping your thumb pressure upon the mouth of the test tube. Carefully, you have to insert this test tube invertedly upon the stem of the funnel. Okay, then keep the entire setup in the sunlight for 2 to 3 hours. This is the setup. This should be kept in the sunlight for 2 to 3 hours. Then what is the observation? As the time passes, we can observe that level of the water in the test tube reducing. You can see here, children, there is a gradual decrease in the level of the water in the test tube. Level of the water in the test tube will be reducing, and then gas bubbles are seen entering in the test tube from the hydrilla twigs. See, from these twigs, the bubbles, you can see here, children, this figure, if you see, let me little bit expand it. I think you can see in that case. Say, children, you can see here. See the round ones, the bubbles are coming up. Gas bubbles are coming up. Okay. The gas bubbles emerges from the hydrilla plant. After sufficient gas is collected, it should be tested with burning splinter. After sufficient amount of gas is connected here, what you have to do? Carefully, you have to remove this test tube. Finger with the thumb pressure upon the mouth of the test tube and keep the test tube straight. All the water level will go down and the air comes up. Then test it with a burning splinter. Take a burning splinter, you keep it up near the mouth of the test tube and open your thumb so that the entire air comes in contact with the burning splinter. Then what happens? The splinter burns vigorously, indicating that the gas liberated is oxygen. The splinter will burn very vigorously, indicating that it is oxygen. You know pretty well testing of oxygen and hydrogen, children. Oxygen, when a burning splinter is placed upon it, it burns very vigorously. But if it is hydrogen, it puts up the flame with a pop sound. So when it is burning very vigorously, that indicates that the gas liberated is oxygen. So what is the conclusion we are getting? Oxygen is liberated during photosynthesis. So this is the experiment, children. For this, oxygen is liberated during photosynthesis. Experiment as such, figure also is very, very important. With this, I have completed 4 marks questions, children. 6 marks questions are there. I'll be doing it in the next class. Meanwhile, please make note of whatever I taught and prepare well, children.